Yes.
State your name and occupation. No.
Hey guys, it's Kira Michelle here. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Gotta Live My Life behind the scenes.
I'm still standing, putting my foot down. I'm a woman standing, all that treasure around. I'm stronger than ever, making my life mine. Oh, I'm still standing, and it's about time. Oh,
Here we go. You ready?
it's about time.
The album took a long time. I feel amazing that the album's done. There was a lot of stress that happened through the whole process. I mean, stress and just like disappointment and confusion and learning and pain even.
I feel relieved. I feel proud. I feel a little bit PTSD'd, if you will, just because it's been kind of a long, grinding and arduous process. But I think what we ended up with is really, really worth it.
It's not just a disc with songs on it. The CD to me is a reminder of the last 4 years of my life, because not only were we building this, but through building this we were growing and changing, and God was changing us as individuals. It's been a pretty crazy process. So I'm very, very excited that the album's done. When I first met Shad, I was scared of men. I was completely scared of men. But when I walked into the building, or almost did, I had 2 pocket knives. I had a pocket knife in one pocket, a pocket knife in the other pocket. Didn't really know how to use them, but was hoping that I could figure it out in the moment. Shad opened the door, and I didn't know who he was, obviously, and he invited me in. He stepped back like this, and I was asking him, "Where's your studio at? Where's your studio at?" Because I couldn't see this control board from the entrance, you know. So, and I was at that point went through a bunch of people in the industry that one sex or money, and another guy that like was doing this to a bunch of girls, leading them on just to get them to like a prostitution arena. It's like whatever it's called. I am just glad I never did it. And but when I first met Shad, I was really scared.
First day that I met Kira, I was in a really, really broken place and had been going through a lot in my personal life. And she showed up here at the front of the studio and I didn't know her from anybody. You know, she was as broken as I was. And I remember after I kind of met her and got to be a little bit comfortable and familiar with her, I just kind of thought, well, this is something positive that I could help. And she obviously really wants to do music badly, and I just felt like this is a positive thing for me to focus on in this really, really dark time in my life. And so I just kind of latched onto it and was like, okay, let's go do this thing.
All the games you play, all the things you say, hurt me bad.
I started playing the guitar when I was 7. I've been singing my whole life, but I started playing guitar when I was 7. I started really writing music when I was 11. When I first learned guitar, I had like 2 weeks of guitar lessons, just learning how to play like simple like riffs or something. But the guitar teacher didn't really teach me music theory or, you know, chords or anything like that. So I started learning by ear and reading books, and I learned how to do all that, and still to this day I just learn by ear. I'm very experienced on the guitar as far as like knowing what I know very well, if that makes sense. So when I first met Shad, I came in here because he said that he had a studio and I was excited to see it and see if he could help me or give me tips or anything. And then he said that he had this young girl that was looking for a band, and she was a drummer. And it was Shad's brother, Josh, which is now my awesome drummer. Thank you, Josh Woodman. But he's my awesome drummer, and he was teaching this girl named Anna how to play the drum.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. Oh, my
And she was looking for a band, and so Shad put me and Anna together, and Anna had a friend named Megan, and we all became a band in the beginning for about a month. We're not a band anymore, but those girls will always be a part of the beginning process forever. We were called The Reason, and we got that name from my tattoo. Everything happens for a reason, so. You know, me and Shad have been through a lot on this journey. When we first met, we were broken, and honestly, like, throughout the whole process, we were still broken. In some ways, we still are broken, but, like, in those broken ways we were before, we really butted heads. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Setting up a mic?
Yeah.
To singing?
You know what?
I don't know how to sing. Not only were we trying to learn each other, but we were trying to learn how to work together, not understanding why we're even working together in the first place. It was all a God thing. It was completely orchestrated by God. But what's interesting is even though we did get in arguments throughout the process, we're like, I mean, I would call him names, like cussing at him. There was times when he texted me and called me names in the beginning.
But there was also parts where she didn't understand how I work, and she would get frustrated because things weren't progressing the way she wanted them to progress. And there was times when I was frustrated with her because I didn't understand fully the magnitude of what she was doing and how she was working through the things she was dealing with.
Come on, baby, lollipop, tell you why. Shad is sweeter than a cherry pie.
Nice hat. You're so intimidating. Yeah, okay. No. You know, as a young woman that was, you know, pretty damaged, and as a, you know, a singer and an artist, so but we always knew through this whole entire process that we're in this for the long haul. Go ahead. And there was times when she would break down and cry, and she was just really, really emotional, and she was afraid. She had this really, really deep-seated fear that I was going to stop working with her. And I would just always hug her, and I would tell her, I said, I'm not stopping. And then that just has evolved into this really, really strong friendship.
The more we grew together, the more we started realizing a balance. And yes, we still fight. We're humans, right? But I think we're doing a lot better, and that all of that stuff is going to make us really, really, really strong, and it really has. So it's just growth. I came from such a low place when I first met Shad, and me pressing into God and God being there for me has transformed me and renewed me. And he brought a whole army around me to lead me in a direction just to get better.
Kira has decided to publicly declare her faith in Jesus.
And because of everything that has happened the last 4 years, I have grown into the best woman I have ever been. First off, I'm in the best spot I've ever been ever. I know I'm only 22, but there's a lot of things that you can feel in 22 years. And being in the spot I am right now, I feel so much peace. I want to talk about the family around me. When I first met Shad, I felt really lost. And I felt like, me and my family were really not in a good place. And God showed me what it's like to just have an amazing support system. My family was a big family, and it was hard to just focus on one person at a time. And I don't blame anybody for that. Shad, Sherry, Marcel, Brian, and Kathy, you guys have literally changed my entire life. And if it wasn't for you guys and God, I wouldn't be here. And God used you guys to help bring Kira Michelle out and who she really is. So I thank you guys, and I love you so much. And Shad, thank you for everything that you've done on this entire journey and believing in me.
The tour went really good.
My first tour was a Pacific Northwest tour. It was Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. And it was different places in Washington too. And we got to the venues, and you know, some venues weren't what I thought they were gonna be, but you know what? It was great. I did sleep a lot. Shad wasn't lying. I slept a lot in the car, and I will continue to do that. But I just want to say it was really fun. It was a great experience. It got my feet wet on being on the road and kind of what to look out for next time.
Oh, my first tour with Kira was fun. It was interesting, and I was really, really proud of her because she booked it herself. And once people kind of knew that we were going to go out and go tour, it's like the floodgates kind of started opening. And so we just loaded up a bunch of gear in my pickup, and I said, all right, we'll wipe the schedule off the studio and we'll go. And I think we did 14 dates, I think, on that first leg.
So COVID hit in around like February, March, when we started hearing about it, and then kind of the world shut down, the United States shut down, and we just got back from a 14 show tour in February, and then when we got back, we had another one being scheduled for 36 cities, and it was from all of May to the middle of June we were going to be gone, and that got canceled. All of it wiped out. At first, COVID was really prominent in Washington. So no one in the United States wanted Washingtonians to come to their venues. And so that got canceled, and then eventually everything in the United States started getting canceled. And we had about 35 different shows after the tour. We had the whole summer booked out up until October. And wow, up until October. We would have been performing that entire time COVID was there. That entire time I would have been performing almost every weekend. COVID had a big impact on the whole music industry. Well, Don't Leave Me is interesting. I had these songwriters, Paul Smith and Jerry Robertson, hire me to be on their songs, to sing vocals, or to add vocals on their songs. And Paul had brought in a beautiful piano part, and I loved it. It hit me right in the chest. And so I took out a notepad, and Paul had some lyrics that he already had. It was kind of like a melody that he was thinking. We didn't use any of those lyrics, but we used his melody, and we wrote that song, and it came to Don't Leave Me, and it's amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful song, and I'm so proud of it. It has 116,000 views, over 116,000 views on YouTube right now, and we have over 100,000 streams on Spotify with it right now. Alright, so I want to talk about another single of mine that's out right now. It's called It's About Time, and this is by far my most favorite song on the album lyrically. Being in the spot I am right now, I feel so much peace, and I feel like I have the voice to say no. And that's what this song is about, is women and men, not just women, to feel like they are able to say no, and they can have that strength, and they can go and do what they need to do, and they can feel beautiful and not have to worry about other people's opinions and letting those opinions determine who they are. What's next? Well, currently, we have the awesome Gotta Live My Life CD coming out. Yes. And if you have this right now, you have the CD, go listen. But I also want to say, we have music videos in the works, a ton that are being planned. We have 2 this month that we're planning. We have another one next month, and then in January, almost half the year next year is full already. We have a live streaming coming up, and man, it's just, we have a lot going. And so once the CD's done, and now it's time to really start writing. We're just at the starting line. I'm really, really proud of the CD. the CD has seriously been like a huge strain emotionally on Shad and I. It has not just been me, and it has not just been Shad. Shad had a different job on the CD than I did, but we both had to put both of our jobs in order to make it as good as it is. And whether that means him listening to me break down and being my rock, or him telling me how frustrated he is with all the things that he needs to change that he thought were fixed, or even just getting upset that it's not done, or re-recording parts over and over and over again, or having system glitches, whatever it was. We had so many things and obstacles come in front of us. This is the best thing, the best project I've ever done, and this will be forever a huge mark on the beginning of my career. Shad, Sherry, Marcel, Brian, and Kathy, you guys have literally changed my entire life, and if it wasn't for you guys and God, I wouldn't be here, and God used you guys to help bring Kira Michelle out and who she really is. So I thank you guys, and I love you so much. And Shad, thank you for everything that you've done on this entire journey and believing in me.